Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Accidental Beauty. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Laura. I upload videos, it used to be 2 to 3 times a week, now it's about once a week or so. But I make videos about mostly makeup, and then I do some videos about hair and fashion, lifestyle, that sort of thing. So if that sounds interesting, then please subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bar so you get updates whenever I upload a new video. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Loria1. I upload lots of pictures of food, clothing, whatever I'm up to, interesting places that I've traveled to, so definitely follow me there, please. Yeah, so today I'm going to be creating this very sunset glam prom-inspired look. So if you want to see how I got this look, then please keep on watching. So I'm going to be doing a tutorial on this look. Before that, I'm going to be doing a story time about my prom experience. So if you don't want to hear the story time, then feel free to skip ahead to this timestamp where I'm going to get into this makeup tutorial. Otherwise, I'm going to be talking about my prom experience. So if you don't want to get scared away by just shitty people being shitty, then skip ahead to the tutorial. Otherwise, I'm going to tell my story first. So let's get into that. So a bit of context, I guess, before I tell like the actual story, I just kind of need to give a bit of background information. Okay, so I went to private school for like elementary, middle, high school. Boys and girls were separated. It was a religious school system. So after about grade 5, boys and girls were in separate classes, and it wasn't encouraged for us to talk to each other, like even at recess and stuff like that. So I feel like that sort of messed up my social skills when talking to the opposite sex. So I was always just kind of awkward around boys, and it's also just like a super awkward age because, like, you know, you start getting these feelings inside, and then you don't know, you feel like, I don't know, it's just super awkward, and you don't want to tell your crush that you like them, but then they end up dating someone else, and then you're like, well, what the hell, man? So anyways, that was my like middle school. So going into high school, I went into a different school system, I guess. It was still private school, but just like different people. I don't know, hard to explain. So it was a co-ed school, and it wasn't like, you know, classes weren't separated or anything like that. Everything was co-ed except for like gym. And a lot of the kids, most of the kids actually, like 98% of the school came from either public school or just other private schools that were co-ed, and like, I guess it's like too complicated to explain, but anyways, basically most people came from co-ed schools, and co-ed, like, you know, classes and everything, like, you know, things weren't segregated, so most people didn't have a problem talking to the opposite sex. Yeah, I went through high school. I've always been the new kid. Like, I moved schools and I moved cities a few times, so it was just like I was always the new kid. I always had to make new friends, which like wasn't a huge issue. It was just everyone kind of already had their groups of friends, and then I would join a group of friends, and it was fine. Like, everyone was really welcoming. I just sort of felt like, you know, everyone else had all these memories together that I didn't have because I wasn't there. And so it was just like very frustrating. I've dealt with that kind of my whole life, and it sucks. And so I thought, okay, I'm gonna go to a new school in high school, and it's gonna be great. New year, new me kind of thing. And so I guess I must have like watched a lot of movies and like, you know, like Disney style things when I was younger. The model in Disney style TV shows and whatever, and this isn't like an attack on Disney or anything like that. It's just sort of the same model, new kid out of school, or like sort of awkward person as like the main character, and like, you know, they're struggling and they're trying to get by, and they end up with a super attractive person, just like, you know, they bump into each other in the halls. Oh, it's so romantic. And then, like, you know, I'm thinking High School Musical in particular, where it's like, I think she was like the new girl in school, and she was like kind of shy and awkward and quiet, and she ends up with like the basketball star who's like super attractive, and it's like, oh, star-crossed lovers and whatever. And it's like, dude, that wouldn't happen in real life. Like, the science nerd and like the basketball star, like, that just socially that just doesn't happen. Like they're just too different and whatever. But when I was 14, I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm like the sort of the quiet, shy, like awkward person, and the really hot, like sports star is gonna fall for me because that's what TV told me. That didn't happen. Main character goes from 0 to hero, wins at the end, you know, gets the guy or the girl, whatever, and everything's great. But that doesn't happen in real life, and you actually have to like socialize with people and be like, hey, look at me, I'm an awesome person, you should get to know me better, instead of like sort of sitting by your locker and waiting for someone to approach you who has nothing to do with you at all and be like, hey, I'm actually like fully in love with you, because that's just super creepy in real life. Like that works in a movie where you like, you know, bump into each other in the hall, or like, you know, you're assigned to work on a project together and then you fall in love, but like in real life usually doesn't happen. So I was like, you know, sitting and waiting for someone to tell me that they were in love with me. When meanwhile, I didn't say much to anyone. So of course nobody knew me because I didn't say anything. But yeah, I felt really invisible, and part of that was just me being super shy and not talking to people, and part of that was also just socially, like my group of friends was sort of like at the bottom of the social totem pole. And yeah, we were not the popular kids by any stretch. And again, I was the new kid at school, and I joined a group of friends who were super nice and super welcoming, but they had all these memories together that I didn't have. So it was just like a lot of things of like me feeling like the odd one out, and it sucked. And yeah, I wanted to stand out, and I wanted to, yeah, I guess like, you know, I wanted to be the main, is like what I joke about. Like I wanted to be the main character in my own life. And I felt very different from everyone else, and I felt very isolated, and my high school didn't allow us to like dye our hair any crazy colors, so like didn't have this hair, was just plain brown hair just like everyone else in school. I was not like it's a bad thing at all, but I happened to be, I wouldn't say overweight, but like a little bit chubbier, not like that's a bad thing, but I just like, I didn't feel good about myself, and I wasn't taking care of myself because I just didn't know how, because I was like 14 years old, and you don't know how to take care of yourself at that age. So yeah, I didn't feel pretty, and I didn't know how to feel pretty and how to feel good in my own skin. I just sort of like did my own thing and wore baggy clothes that weren't flattering because emo was really a huge trend, and I was super into that, but I also didn't know how to be emo. It was a mess. And we didn't have, you know, YouTube and things like that. Well, YouTube was just starting when I was in high school. I didn't have access to all these different tutorials on like how to dress like in a way that complements your body type and your face and everything. Like I didn't know how to do any of that. I just sort of like, you know, pants, shirt, brush your hair, out the door, you know, maybe put my hair up in a ponytail, whatever. So I think part of that was just like I didn't really spend much time on myself, and in doing that didn't show that I was like valuing myself. As a result, I think people just sort of walked past me because I didn't really stand out. Boys weren't interested in me, so that also made me feel like, oh, well, maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe I'm too invisible. How do I stand out? I don't know. And like, of course, talking to a boy that I was interested in was completely out of the question for some reason. Yeah, I was also very scared of rejection. And I was like, okay, by the end of high school, I'm gonna have a date. That didn't happen either, and of course I like sort of hyped myself up and then was disappointed as a result. Yeah, so I basically felt like a loser and invisible and not pretty for all of high school. Actually no, towards the end of high school I sort of started to like myself for who I am. That was like, it sort of started in high school, but anyways, I'm getting off topic. Point is, I felt like a loser. I wanted a boy to like me, and I thought, okay, when prom came up in grade 12, I was like, okay, this is my last chance. I'm gonna go to prom with someone. I don't know how, but I'm gonna get someone to ask me to prom. Even if it's just as a friend, I would be happy. So that didn't happen. I was really disappointed. At that point also, my group of friends had shrunk. A few people had left the school. The rest of the group just sort of splintered off into like their own little groups, like they just joined other groups. So my friend group was a lot smaller. We also just like didn't see each other that often because like just we had different class schedules and stuff like that. So it was kind of lonely. So I was hoping, okay, so the way that it was done at my school, I assume this is actually, Yeah, I assume this is done at other schools too, but basically for prom, everyone sort of gets together in groups. So like, your group of friends or whatever, and you pool your money together and you rent a limo, and that's how you get to prom or pre-prom or both. I sort of talked to the remaining members of my group of friends at school, and I was like, okay, let's get a limo together. And they're like, oh, well, actually we're with these people, and oh, actually we're going with these people. I'm like, well, do you have room for a couple more? And they're like, oh, no, actually we don't. Oh, sorry. And I'm like, okay. I realized after talking to a few people that it wasn't me, it was a girl that was in our group of friends. Let's just call her Betty. So Betty was very loud, very abrasive, I guess, and could sort of rub people the wrong way. And so a lot of people didn't like her as a result because she clashed with them. Difficult person to get along with sometimes. And she sort of followed me everywhere I went. Basically, my group of friends lied to me and said that they didn't have any room in their limos because they didn't want Betty to follow me. Which is super shitty and really sucks and kind of shows who your real friends are and who your fake friends are. I was almost done high school at that point anyways, and I just wanted to get out of there and leave because I was just miserable all the time, like really probably depressed, and it was not a healthy place for me. And so finding out that my friends basically lied to me because they didn't want Betty to join us was super shitty and super immature of them. Like, I'm sorry if you're watching this, but like, it was really shitty and it made me feel like shit, and it still makes me feel like shit. So yeah. And also, like, this stupid thing, but like whatever, I was like 18 at the time, and I was like, I want to ride in a limo. I want to ride in a limo, and like I still want to ride in a limo. Like, it's cool. So I didn't end up getting a limo because everyone said their limos were full. Betty ended up in a party bus with a group of 15 other kids. So she ended up being in a limo, and me and one other friend ended up being chaperoned to pre-prom and prom by my friend's mom. So, we show up in like a Toyota Corolla, which there's nothing wrong with Toyota Corollas, they're great cars. But, we show up in like a Corolla, and everyone else shows up in their limos and party buses having drinking and dancing to music and stuff like that. And we're like, yeah, okay. So that was really shitty. And it just it made me feel like a child. You're going to prom, you feel like an adult, get all dressed up and all nice and fancy. And then it's oh, my friend's mom dropped me off while everyone else got there in limos. Yeah. Anyways, point is, I felt like a loser. So, oh yeah, and then, backtracking, so everyone else got their hair and makeup done by probably actual hair and makeup people. Meanwhile, very few people in my grade at school, there weren't any aspiring makeup artists. I mean, there were actually a few makeup artists that came out of that graduating class, but at the time there weren't any makeup artists that are oh, I'll do everyone's makeup for prom. There wasn't anything like that. So everyone went to salons and makeup places, I don't know, makeup artists and things like that to get their hair and makeup done. So I did my own makeup, and I was running late, and I don't think I ended up doing eyeliner or mascara or something like that. So my makeup was very plain. And then I went to get my hair done at one of those really cheap hairdressers, and it was fine. It was fine. Meanwhile, everyone else had huge curls and updos, and I just had whatever. It's fine. It was fine. Yeah, so I didn't look my best, and I didn't feel my best, but my prom dress was out of this world. I love my prom dress. It is so unique and so one of a kind and so me. It's awesome. So my mom had found out about this fashion designer / silk screener person, and at the time she had a store. Now she sort of just runs workshops, and she's awesome. But yeah, at the time she actually ran a store, and she had pre-made clothing. So she bought fabric, made clothing, and then silk screened prints onto them. And you could also do custom things, so you could, actually get measured and choose your fabrics and choose all your different materials and choose your prints to be silkscreen on. Very, very cool, like very unique clothing. So I went there and I was like, oh my god, this place is the most awesome place ever. So I was like, yes, I want the Beatles on my prom dress. And she was like, okay, done. Yeah, my prom dress is awesome. So thank you, Kingy from Peach Berserk, for my awesome prom dress. This is like from years and years ago, but anyways, you should look up Peach Berserk on Facebook and Instagram. I will leave links because they're absolutely awesome. Going into prom, I felt shitty because I didn't have a limo, didn't have a date, but at least I had a kick-ass prom dress. So I got there, and I hate dancing, but I just wanted to go with someone. I think it was the whole status thing, and it was a final party from high school. I wanted to experience it right. So I wanted to do all the different milestone things, but didn't have a limo, didn't have a date, went by myself, with my other friends who still wanted to talk to me and weren't busy with their dates. And the food was great. The food was absolutely delicious. And my dress was absolutely amazing. And those were the only good parts about prom. And then, okay, best part and then worst part. So the best part was at pre-prom. So I think I got there early. I can't remember, but when more people started to show up, everyone's checking out each other's dresses, and it was so snarky. We had a Facebook group where you were supposed to put what dress, a picture of the dress that you were going to get, so that no one would come wearing the same dress as someone else, which that did actually happen, which is weird because the group, they should have checked the group, but whatever. So I didn't post mine because I knew no one would have the same dress as me. And so I show up to prom, and some people had absolutely horrendous, disgusting looking prom dresses, where did you find that, in the trash? No, it was probably $1,000. There were some really tasteless prom dresses, and some of those people who were wearing those tasteless dresses gave me these looks who does she think she is for wearing that prom dress? I'm sorry, but your dress looks like shit compared to mine. So I wouldn't talk if I were you. Anyways, I'm just really bitter about prom. I absolutely hate prom. I'm not one of those people who are oh, I had a miserable experience, so therefore everyone else should have a miserable experience. I don't care. Go and have a good time at prom, please. But just don't be a shitty person to your friends, and don't forget your friends when you're all happy and having fun, and you have your dates and your limos and whatever. Don't neglect your friends, because then you're just kind of a shitty person. So that has been my PSA. Don't treat your friends like shit, and just don't treat people like shit, because then you're kind of a shitty, selfish person. So basically what I want to say is just be considerate of others, and you can put aside your selfish, I don't even know what to call it, you're trying to keep up your image. You can put all that stupid bullshit aside for one night just to make someone else happy. Just for once in your goddamn life. I'm sorry, I'm just really mad. It's been several years since I went to prom, and I'm still bitter about this because I was made to feel like shit. And after prom, everyone else went to after prom, so they all went clubbing and hooking up in hotel rooms, and me and a couple friends went to a friend's house and slept over. We went to that friend's house, fell asleep, got up in the morning, went home. We had a sleepover party, whereas everyone else is going clubbing and hooking up. I felt like a child, and also no one invited me to their parties, and it's just I don't know, you just feel kind of shitty, and I felt like an 8-year-old when everyone else is an adult, you know what I mean? It was shitty all around. It was just a shitty experience, and it was the most overrated night of my life. And I still get upset when I see prom dresses and just prom season, and even, oh my god, even promposals. I felt like shit when all that was going around, because I was nobody nobody wanted to go to prom with me, and like no one, like, you know, promposals are like, you know, telling the whole world that like, hey, I love this person and I want to go to prom, or like, hey, I like this person's my best friend or whatever, and I want to go to prom with them. Like, I'm going to tell the whole school about that. And then there's everyone else. Nobody wants to go to prom with them. Then you kind of feel like a loser and like really shitty because no one wants to go with you. Nobody likes you. It sucks. It really sucks. I'm not saying like get rid of promposals. It's just like try and make other people feel happy too. Like at an event like that, like, yeah, you're going with your date or whatever, even if you're like not dating or whatever, just like make your friends feel welcome too, you know? Yeah, so that has been my PSA, and let's just get into something a little more happy and let's get into the makeup tutorial. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with my NYX Studio Perfect Photo Loving Primer, and I'm going to just put that all over my face, just like a generous amount. A little bit extra on the areas that I know will get dry. Okay, so I'm going to like double prime my face, and I'm going to use some MAC Fix Plus and just spray that all over my face. This stuff like sprays everywhere, so I like to just spray it in my hand first and then apply. Putting some on my eyes, just putting some everywhere. Ooh, I actually love the smell of Fix Plus. It smells so nice and clean. I'm gonna start off with some Kat Von D Lock-It Foundation in the shade Cool 44 Light. You know what, I'm gonna wet my makeup sponge with some Fix Plus as well. Okay, next I think I'm going to do my brows, and then I'll do concealer. I'm going to use the CoverGirl Brow and Eye Makers. It's an eyebrow pencil. Eyebrow hairs, they're actually really long towards like the tail of my eyebrows. I don't really know what to do with them because they're super long towards the tail, and I've trimmed them before, but sometimes I trim them too much so then I don't have much of a tail on my eyebrows. But then if I leave them, then they just like sort of get long and like almost curly. And I don't really want to pay to have them done because I can just do them myself at home. Slightly annoying. So I usually use an eyebrow gel, but today I wanted a softer look. Especially because I'm going to make my eyes very like glittery and nice, so I don't really want my eyebrows distracting and detracting from that. Just to set my eyebrows in place, I'm going to use the Benefit Gimme Brow in shade number 1, the blonde one. I actually really like this product. It smells kind of weird, but I really like it, and I just have a sample, like a trial size. And I don't want this to run out because then like I don't want to have to pay like $35 or something ridiculous for an eyebrow product, but it's really good. So I'm going to use some Tarte Shape Tape and just clean up my brows and then also conceal under my eyes. So I just put some concealer under my eyes, along my nose, on my chin, and on my forehead, and I'm just going to blend it out with my fingers and then blend out the rest with the makeup sponge. think I might contour just to get that out of the way. So I'm going to use my NYX blush in the shade Taupe, just like a very ashy color. Okay, so I'm just gonna contour my nose a little bit. Just gonna use whatever concealer is left on my brush to highlight down my nose. Okay, I think I'm gonna start on my eyes now. So I'm gonna dip into the Kylie Cosmetics Take Me on Vacation palette, and I'm just gonna build up some color in my crease. So I'm gonna just start with this, there we go, this like pale peachy color, and just put that in my crease. I have a little bit left over of something on my brush, so it might end up being a little pink, but that's okay, because this look is gonna be pink. And now I'm gonna go into this, like, also like a slightly darker beige. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go into this yellow, sort of like smoke it out with that. Just sort of get like a nice gradation. And now I'm gonna go into my Juvia's Place Zulu palette, and I'm gonna take this magenta color, and I'm gonna put that in the crease. And then I'm gonna take a fluffy brush and then just kind of smoke out the edges. I think I'm gonna take some of this orange and yellow, mix those two together, and then just kind of go over where I put the yellow down. I'm gonna take on a flat brush this purple and just run that along my lower lash line. And I just want to connect the line of the purple right to the edge of kind of the outer corner here. I'm going to take my concealer again and a brush, and I'm just going to create a cut crease. And I'm going to leave the last, like sort of the outer corner just empty, because I haven't decided what I want to put in there yet. I think I'm gonna take the smaller end of this brush, dip into this sort of rose gold-ish duochrome color, and put that on my lids. Never mind, change my mind. I'm just gonna use my fingers. I'm gonna take this brown and put in the outer V, just kind of sort of smoke out this look a little bit. Alright, so next I'm gonna use what's left of this NYX single shadow. It's a matte single shadow. I think the shade is called Betrayal. It's like a medium brown. And I'm going to just add that to the outer V because that brown is too light. So I'm just patting it on very lightly and then smoking it out. Because I need to add a bit more on this side. And now next I'm going to use the Stila Magnificent Metals in Rose Gold Retro and just put that on my eyes. So I'm just going to like sort of dot it on, like 3 dots, and I'm going to blend it in with my fingers. Okay, so I'm going to use a small angled brush from e.l.f. and I'm going to dip back into that Betrayal, I think, that dark brown matte eyeshadow, and I'm just gonna stamp that along my lash line in place of eyeliner. So I'm gonna just use my Ulta Japanese eyelash curler, just curl my lashes. Okay, I think before I put on mascara, I'm just going to do an inner corner highlight. And I think I'm going to be kind of super extra and use this NYX pigment in the shade Vegas Baby just to highlight my inner corner. So now I'm going to use this L'Oreal Miss Manga mascara. I'm going to use the Ardell Mega Volume 251 lashes. Yeah, now I think I'm going to highlight. So I'm going to use the Maybelline Master Strobing Liquid in the lightest shade. So it's light iridescent. And I'm just going to highlight my brow bone as well. Oh, that looks nice. And I just wet my sponge with some Fix Plus, and I'm just going to try and blend the highlight. I'm going to add some of this L'Oreal Color Lift blush in the shade Rose Gold Lift. And I'm just going to apply that with my fingers. So next I'm going to take this NYX Suede Matte Lip Liner in the shade Pink Lust, and I'm just going to line my lips. And now I'm going to use this MAC Bullet Lipstick in the shade Pink Nouveau. So I blotted it down because I'm not loving how bold it is for this look. So I'm going to take the Revlon Balm Stain in the shade Honey, and I'm just going to go over top. I'm going to set my face with the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. Okay, so this is the final look. So I really like the way this look turned out. It's like super sunset-y kind of vibes, like sunset glam sort of vibes. Of course, using the Juvia's Place Zulu palette. I'm absolutely obsessed with that palette. It's like the perfect palette. And I think this look is really fun. You know, you can wear this to prom, you can wear this to any sort of dance, you can wear this to going out. I just came back from dinner, and I wore this look. You can literally wear it anywhere. Maybe not with these crazy lashes, or you can, you know, do whatever you want, live your life however you want. But yeah, if you like this look, if you like the way this look turned out, please give this video a thumbs up, especially if you're like going to prom this year and you're like thinking of drawing inspiration from this look, then let me know. Also, if you have a prom story you want to share, if you have a really shitty prom experience or even a really good prom experience or no prom experience, just if you want to tell me a story, please comment in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you. And that's about it. So subscribe to my channel again if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.